Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Night Phase, bringing you finally Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The day has come. It's here. Giving you my review of it. As always, the first half is going to contain non-spoilers until I say otherwise. Usually around the 5 to 6 minute mark. After that, I will jump into spoilers. Like I said, don't worry, you're safe. I will let you know, give you all the spoiler warnings. The sirens will go off. Trust me. And then we'll dive into spoilers. But we're gonna keep it non-spoilers, give you my overall thoughts, impressions, and my score of the film. What did I think of it? Yeah, I was anticipating this, as you know, a lot of Star Wars fans, most of them, because let's just dive back into the past. You know, with the Last Jedi, we already know that divided the fan base. A lot of people hated that movie. They say that it ruined Star Wars, left a bad taste in their mouth, like someone took a dump in it. Like that bad, people. The backlash was ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy because I was trying to keep my expectations low for this. Not because I thought The Last Jedi was a bad movie, because, in part, I did go into The Last Jedi and I was wearing Star Wars beer goggles, and, I was loving everything to the point where when I first saw The Last Jedi, I gave it like a 9.5, almost a 10 out of 10, and then the more I rewatched it, the more the issues were more apparent that people were pointing out, and I don't like to let people influence my opinion on films. And The Last Jedi was unfortunately like that, and I kind of like hated myself for listening to the critics, listening to a lot of people, and I like to form my own opinion. I like to hear other people's opinions, sure, but The Last Jedi was just constantly beating you over the head. Wherever you went, with all the negativity, oh, this ruined this because they did this character decision, they ruined Luke Skywalker. So, the wheels start turning, and the more you listen to all the negativity, the more it affects your judgment of the film. And I feel like that's what was happening to me when with The Last Jedi. And now I settled like on an 8 out of 10 movie. The Last Jedi is an 8 out of 10. It's a good movie. I don't hate The Last Jedi. I still think it's solid. I don't think it's the worst like piece of shit like people make it out to be. They make it sound like it's a dumpster fire. Like it is really not. I mean, how can it? The movie is just technically impressive. The cinematography, the score, the storytelling choices weren't the greatest. What I did like about The Last Jedi is that it subverted our expectations a lot. And that's something that was new to the Star Wars film. So I give kudos and props to Rian Johnson. I know a lot of people fucking hate him. He gets too much hate to the point where, people don't even want to check out his new movie, Knives Out, which I freaking love that movie. And I just think that's so unfair. It's just like JJ had his vision and Rian Johnson had his vision. And he, as a director, he don't want to compromise. You got to put yourself in his shoes and think, okay, does he want to make the movie that JJ set out to make, but he couldn't do himself, or does he want to make it his own thing, his own flavor? And I feel like that's where we got this discourse. So then JJ got back to this one, got brought back, and he kind of had to course correct. Let's call it what it is. They course corrected the shit out of this, especially seeing this now. And for the most part, it works. Okay, I want to tell you right now, I really like this movie. I think it's solid. It's good. It reminds me of It Chapter 2. When It Chapter 2 got all that backlash, I think it sits at a 60% something in Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. It's just so irrelevant now. I don't go by RT. A lot of people do. When they see the score, I think it was like 58% on Rotten Tomatoes for The Rise of Skywalker. Everybody's like, oh my God, it sucks. It automatically sucks. Ooh, yikes. Ooh, like, what the fuck? Like, form your own opinion. Go watch the movie and then you form your own opinion. Decide whether you think it sucks or not. But people already labeling like it's the worst Star Wars films. And that thing, pisses me off because one of my favorite reviewers, Chris Stuckman, which I feel gave the most fairest, most unranty, nitpicky kind of review. Out of everyone that I've seen, I'm looking at you, Jeremy Johns. Sorry, but yeah, Chris Stuckman pointed out something where it's so true. It's so apparent now how the fans bitched and whined and complained about the prequels sucking. Like the prequels sucked. Even when I saw the prequels, I knew episode 1 and 2 weren't good. I just knew that. I mean, to get to the good stuff, we had to wait to the end. Even that was kind of like, eh. Revenge of the Sith is good though. So George Lucas hit a home run with Revenge of the Sith. But come on, now everyone praises the prequels compared to The Last Jedi, and now this movie like, oh, I remember those days when the prequels were the best. What the fuck are you talking about? just stop with the hypocrisy, please. Like, I hate that. I hate hearing that from fans where they just can't admit, that they hated the prequels and they just want to hate on this now. It's like, what? It's just, there's no satisfying. This film set out to do an impossible task. We're 5 minutes in. We're going to jump into spoilers, probably the 10-minute mark, because I have to get this all out of the way. It's ridiculous, I know, but stay with me. Um, it's just like, there's this is an impossible task. That JJ and everybody involved in crew set out to do was to try to please the fans, and I feel like because of that, because they catered too much to the backlash of the Last Jedi, that the film turned out the way it did. Now, is it a bad film? By no means, no. I can see myself easily rewatching this. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow, and I can't wait. I'm excited. I feel like they did the best they could with what they had and what they set out to do. Would have helped if they had a roadmap. I keep hearing they never had a roadmap, and it's always good to have a roadmap like Kevin Feige did with the MCU. Just lay out the groundwork and know where it's gonna build up. Sure, I 100% agree with that. But like I said, I gotta give them credit. They did the best they could, and I walked away satisfied with this trilogy. I mean, was it messy to get to where we got towards the end? Of course, the storytelling is not the greatest. It's all over the place. They say it's convoluted. Sure, it is convoluted. I mean, we all know this is not a spoiler. This is in the trailer. The Emperor is back. That's one of my biggest criticism is the way they brought the Emperor. He's just the crawl starts. The Emperor is back. They make it so apparent he's back. It is what it is, and that's one thing I was just like, and they tie it up in the end, and I like the way they tied it up. I mean, Snoke filled that position, and I feel like, yeah, it was kind of a mistake now looking back on The Last Jedi. They killed Snoke because he needs somebody behind, Kylo Ren. So now they had the Emperor in his place. So that's one of the things where I was like, okay. And then kind of like the first hour, everybody, they're just trying to explain, with like exposition. Is exposition heavy? Certain things, elements that are going to go into play into this film. So there's like a lot of catching up to do, a lot of groundwork set up. But when we get to the middle and then towards the end, it's just a fun ride. It's a fun ride. I was never bored. I was entertained throughout. I mean, if you love Star Wars and you're looking to be thrilled and entertained, this movie will do it for you. I can see some people will liking this more than The Last Jedi, honestly, because this one does play safe and it caters a lot to the fans. JJ went freaking fan service overload. Now, it depends on how much fan service you want. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'll take it. I'll take it. Like with the fan service here, it could be too much at times, but I was fine with it. Uh, I like where Rey ended up. I like what they did with Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley. They're the best parts of this film. Their performances are great. Uh, the visuals, everything about it. I wish they did more with Finn. There's certain characters that get outshined. They just they could have done more with them, like Finn. Sure, I like what they did with Poe though. That was cool. And then I like how they handled Leia. That was very tricky, but I think they handled it very well, very gracefully. Carrie Fisher passed away unfortunately, which is so sad. You had to use old footage, I believe, from The Force Awakens to complete her story arc. But I like the way they did it because it kind of pays off. Um, and yeah, it jumps all over the place. It's kind of disjointed. It's like we jump all over the place in this one, more so than previous Star Wars films. Jumping from planet to planet, and then diving into more of the lore, and then you find out more things. But I was for it. I mean, they never made a decision here that was so infuriating, so frustrating, so like left field where I was like, oh, fuck that. No, I do not like that at all. Fuck that. Like, I feel like it was tad bit predictable. Like I said, this felt like It Chapter 2, where it was entertaining enough and it gave me what I wanted, and I was satisfied, and that's what I could say about The Rise of Skywalker. So overall, great conclusion, solid conclusion, I would say. Just the first hour getting there was a bit choppy, a bit messy. Storytelling could have been done much better. Them explaining certain things much better instead of trying to cram everything in all at once. But overall, I was satisfied. I even teared up a couple of times because this is the end of a franchise, the end of a saga, which is Star Wars. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, solid 8. out of 10 for The Rise of Skywalker. There's my non-spoiler review. Okay, non-spoiler is done. 8 out of 10. I highly recommend if you're a Star Wars fan, if you still like this franchise, definitely go see it for yourself. Go see it. Please go see it. Don't feed into the negativity. People tell you don't see it. It's a piece of shit. You shouldn't see it. If you see it, you're not a Star Wars fan. Fuck that. Fuck people like that. You don't need people like that in your lives. I just, oh my god, I feel like people can be so over nitpicky sometimes and just give so much unwarranted, undeserved hate to franchises. It just has become so toxic that in a way I'm kind of relieved that Star Wars is over, saddened but relieved at the same time because now we don't have to hear all these fucking crybabies. Like, I mean, if you hated it, to each their own, whatever. I mean, that's you. Be mad all you want, be pissed for years is really not gonna do anything for you. I don't. I'm fine. I'm fine. Where it ended could have been better. Sure, I'm not denying that. It could have been much better. But how would you have ended it, honestly? To all the people complaining and bitching, like, oh, I don't like they did this. I don't like that they did that. I don't like. Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck would you have ended it? Please elaborate down below. Write your autobiography, if you will. I really don't care. But anyway, okay, let's get into spoilers. Spoiler warning. Spoilers starting. So 3, 2, 1. Spoiler talk. Okay, spoiler talk. Here we go. For the opening crawl, we know Kylo Ren is out looking for the Emperor. Like they just jump right into it. I was like, okay, this is where we're going. I mean, they showed him in the trailers. They were not hiding him. This was the build up. This is where they want to go. This is where JJ wants to take us. Fine, I'm all for it. A lot of people won't get on board. I heard one reviewer was like, I couldn't get on board with that. What the fuck ever. Fine, go visit Snoke in the cemetery, see if he can come back. Anyway, that being said, yeah, I was like, okay, at first it was odd. It was jarring to see him. But as the movie played out more and more, and the way they wrapped that up with the Emperor, with Palpatine, I was satisfied. I mean, yeah, I'm satisfied. It reminded me a lot of Return of the Jedi. Okay, and I know people will complain, oh, it was like Return of the Jedi. Fine, I like Return of the Jedi. It's my fourth favorite Star Wars film, so I don't mind. They had to borrow elements from that. I mean, at this point, it's so hard to make it their own because look what happened. Rian Johnson made it his own, people, and look, everybody flipped the fuck out, freaked out, like, oh. So, like I said, it was an impossible task, but I went with it, uh, and I like Kylo Ren trying to reach out to Rey, trying to turn her so they could take out the Emperor. And then we're gonna again spoilers. This is the spoiler section, okay? Big reveal here. Which I heard the fan theory, so this is one that I kind of saw coming. Some people were like, oh, they were shocked. So there will be shocked audience members. Not everybody is like diehard into the Star Wars lore, because I'm like a casual Star Wars fan. I don't read like all the books and stuff. Like Thrawn. Oh, like or watch the Star Wars Rebels. I do watch the Mandalorian, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so it is revealed that Rey is a Palpatine. She's the Emperor's granddaughter. And I was like, oh shit. And at first I was like, but I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool. Because it goes back to when people were like, oh, is Rey a great Jedi? Is she like the balance? And in a way, yes, because being a Palpatine, her finding out about it, uh, it just shows that your path is not set in stone. You decide, you choose who you want to be. Even though she got that vision of her with the double bladed red lightsaber, and I mean, she has his blood, but she doesn't have to. And that's what I love. I love the message here, the themes that they tackle. That you don't have to be what is passed down to you by your ancestors or whoever. You don't have to be that. She wants to be a Jedi, she can be a Jedi, and I love that. And it made the ending more emotional. It gave me that emotional impact that I wanted, and I got it. And I thought that was a smart move. If it was a fan service, yes. I mean, we get Raylo, Kylo, and Rey kiss. I'm fine with it. I mean, Some people would say, "Oh, Ray should have hooked up with Finn," but I feel like Buddy waited too long. He lost his chance. So he got cock blocked by Kylo Ren. My boy Adam Driver, yo. Yeah, there were some Reylo fans in my theater. They were like, "Woo, woo!" You know, they were fluttering and shit. Like all the girls were like, "Oh my God, Reylo!" You know, I can see that pissing people off. Like, oh, I don't like that. Um, at this point, I feel like people think Kylo Ren is redeemable, and I feel like JJ originally intended Kylo Ren to seek redemption, to have him be, you know, have a redemptive arc. And I thought it was well handled. The build up, because at least they one thing they did keep from the Last Jedi is the fact that he said, "Take my hand. You know, I want you to join me." And that's something that I thought was very powerful the way they handled that, because he didn't want to kill her at this point. He saw something in her, like a kindred kind of spirit. There's a connection there between Rey and Kylo, and I dug that. And he wanted to rule the galaxy with her, and but he was going. You know, I like that she said she wanted to take Ben's hand, not Kylo Ren's. I love that. All right, so that was good. I like that. I like how they handled that. All right, some criticisms are okay, because I'm sure I'm going to get some people watching this video expecting me to bash on this movie. And they want to hear the nitpicks, the criticism, like, what the fuck, you love this movie so much? Fuck you. Yeah. Okay, sit tight. Here's some criticism I have. The way they handled the Knights of Ren. I was looking forward to them. Disappointed me. They didn't do jack diddly shit with them. They just look cool, like, yeah, cosplay. Oh, we're the fucking Knights of Ren. And they get taken out by Kylo Ren like this. So that was disappointing. I wanted to see them wreck some shit, you know. Uh, Come on, you know, like you introduce like a group like that. They got Boba Fetted so quick. It's like, what the fuck? No, I want to see the Knights of Ren turn up the rebels at least, or something. Let me have a fight with Rey. You know, and why do they have swords, and like one has a warhammer, one has like a fucking axe? Why do they have these normalized weapons? Shouldn't they have lightsabers too? Or weren't they trained in the Jedi arts? Okay, so that's one nitpick that I don't like. Is the waste of the Knights of Ren. I mean, I like the way they look. They look pretty cool. You know, them fighting Kylo Ren. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But I would have liked to see them more in action. The lightsaber duel between Rey and Kylo on that water planet was fantastic. I really liked that a lot. Was shocking when she delivered the fatal blow to Kylo, but then she healed him. That's another thing. Nitpicky, well, criticism. We'll say criticism. Okay, I do have criticisms. It's fine to have criticism. Just they're not like overly critical to the point where you're just thrashing on the movie that doesn't deserve it. Like this film, I feel like it doesn't deserve, you know, all the hatred. Your hatred makes me strong. Palpatine will probably like that. Anyway, yeah. So she heals him because, you know, Jedi's. It's kind of cool that I saw the Mandalorian going, because I'm not gonna spoil the Mandalorian in case you haven't seen it, but there's some force use healing powers in that show, and it is utilized here. But I feel like it's utilized way too many times. You know, Rey uses it on some snake, fucking serpent looking creature, which I felt was not necessary. I mean, I think it would have been more effective if they didn't do that scene, and she just did it when she delivered the fatal blow to Kylo. And because it's used three times, it's used on that snake fucking creature, which was kind of pointless and stupid, and they shouldn't have done that. And then it's used on Kylo to bring him back. And then Kylo, I think, uses it on her, but he does it where he transfers his life force to her, and he dies. You know, which I was bummed out because, you know, we just got rid of, and he just died. Yeah, but overall, like I said, this movie is not gonna satisfy everybody, but I walked away satisfied. I don't think it's uh you know, stinking pile of crap, or nothing like that. I mean, the storytelling is messy, it is convoluted, it's not perfect. Like I said, like It Chapter 2. But did it deliver on the entertainment? Yes, it did. Did it satisfy me with the conclusion? Yes, it did. Were there emotional beats? Yes, there was. There was one scene where I teared up with Leia, and then with Leia passing, man, I was so sad. And Chewie's reaction, Chewbacca's reaction, he had the same reaction when Han was killed in front of him in The Force Awakens. So it just harkens back to that, and just God, that was soul crushing. And then uh, when we got to see Harrison Ford, I love that. I love that moment. I can't. People will probably bitch about that moment, but screw you guys. I thought that moment was genuine. What it was like um, kind of. It was a callback to the Force Awakens. Same exact thing because Kylo is saying the same words he said to him before he killed him, which I don't think I have the power to do this on my own. And we all know how that ended originally with Kylo thrusting his saber through poor Han Solo, but this time he throws it. And I thought that was powerful. I thought that was genuine. There's a lot of shade thrown at The Last Jedi. Like, for example, when Rey throws her saber at the wreckage of the TIE fighter, of Kylo's TIE fighter, because she went back on the island and she's gonna do that. This is the biggest like slap to the face of The Last Jedi, and I didn't notice that, and I don't think it was warranted. I mean, I feel like JJ is trying so hard to please like a lot of people that hated The Last Jedi, and I feel like that shouldn't have been the real focus. So it kind of took me out in some moments, like this one, where she chucks the lightsaber and then Luke grabs it. And he's like, "Don't you throw anything away that's so valuable to you," or something like that. Because we remember in The Last Jedi when she was like, "Here, take it," and he takes it. He goes, "Fuck this!" And he just threw it, and everybody lost their minds. And then, oh, and then he drank some alien titty milk, and then people lost more of their shit. I love the reactions to The Last Jedi. I think it's fucking hilarious the way people overreact with that movie. Anywho, and then with this one as well. Uh, yeah, but I noticed that I was abundantly clear that yeah, they're making it known that this is not following The Last Jedi whatsoever. Which I get that. I get that. Like I said, it would have definitely helped out if there was some groundwork, there was a layout, like a plan, like Kevin Feige would do with the MCU, building up to something, and they would have just gone off that, especially with Rian Johnson, because I feel like Rian Johnson had a lot of creative control. Like they just said, you do where the fuck you want, and sometimes it's good. It's good to see the director's vision, but sometimes it's not, especially if it's a trilogy, a planned trilogy of a big known franchise like this. So. Uh, All right, what else? I feel like I'm missing. There's some new characters introduced. They're kind of forgettable. There was one with where Pearl had a crush on. She was cool. I like her armor, the way she looked. And then there was another chick that was was it with Finn all the time. She was fine. They sidelined the shit out of Rose, which I was okay with because she was annoying. I found Rose an annoying, unbearable character in The Last Jedi. So no complaints there. I don't know why she was in this movie. No disrespect to the actress. What was her name? Kelly Marie Tran. I mean, I feel bad that she got bullied and all that bullshit that happened on social media. That's what I'm talking about. This fandom is just so toxic, so ugh, at this point. But her character in The Last Jedi did irritate me at times, and they were trying to force a romance between her and Finn that did not work out for me. And I was like, I'm glad she was like, yeah, she was still part of the rebels, but she wasn't one of the main like supporting characters. So she did get sidelined. Some characters did get sidelined here. The way they got rid of Hux, it is what it is. Hux was another character where he's so bitchy and mopey. People complain about Kylo Ren being this evil, not evil, but tangent emo, like fucking just edgy, like scream type of like angry angst fucking guy. And I feel like this guy Hux is the definition of that. So, and it was kind of like okay when it was revealed that he was a secret spy that was helping them because he got fed up with Kylo Ren's bullshit. I'm not sure if I bought that. That's one of the things I didn't really buy. I was like, really? You would do that? No, I don't think so. I think you hate the rebels. I mean, you were fucking in charge of Starkiller Base at a point in The Force Awakens, and you were destroying planets, and all of a sudden you're just gonna go to the rebels because Kylo Ren is your dickhead boss. It just doesn't ring true to me. I did like the actor who was like who filled that position. Forgot the. It was like the one of the new generals for the Sith. He was good. That guy was good. He was in Logan. I knew I recognized the actor from somewhere. He was in Logan, one of my all-time favorite movies, my number one actually, with Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. He was the antagonist in Logan, which was pretty cool to see him uh, get more work here. And I think he did a pretty good job as a villain. But yeah, uh, I enjoyed I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Rise of Skywalker. It's not perfect, but damn, my camera's messing up. I apologize if you see my camera kind of freezing up. It does that sometimes, so bear with me. It seems to be working now. When I do a lot of like hand movements or hand gestures or move around too much, it does that. Anywho, I enjoyed it. I can't wait to watch it again. Seeing it tomorrow, Dolby Cinema, AMC, Disney Springs. It's sad. It's the end of a saga. Um, like I said, it was messy to get to the conclusion, but once we got there, I was satisfied. Like I said, it reminded me a lot of It Chapter 2, where, it was just bashed on too much. And I noticed the criticisms they're there, but they didn't bother me as much. And that's just my personal opinion. Okay. So there you have it. The Rise of Skywalker. 8 out of 10. Go see it. Let me know if you've seen it already. What did you think about it? Do you think it's better than The Last Jedi? Do you think it's the worst Star Wars ever made? How did you feel about a lot of the character decisions? Comment down below. Let me know. Thanks for watching as always. I'm going to end it right here. I know I left out a lot of things to talk about, but make sure you follow me on my Instagram. You can talk to me on there. We'll talk everything Star Wars. And I'll catch you guys always in the next one. And may the Force be with you.